One family, 5 sons, 5 cities. 250 years of documented financial history. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is in the archives. This is in the parliamentary records. This is in the history books of every major European nation. This is Cipher finance. And today we follow the oldest money trail in modern history. In 1744, a child was born in a ghetto in Frankfurt, Germany. Not a palace, not an estate, a ghetto. The Judengasse, Frankfurt's Jewish quarter, where houses were identified not by numbers, but by symbols painted on their doors. The house his ancestors lived in had a red shield painted on the wall. In German, that is Rothschild. That name would become the most powerful brand in the history of banking. His name was Meyer Amschel Rothschild, and what he built in one lifetime should have been impossible. By the time Meyer died in 1812, he had placed each of his 5 sons in a different European financial capital: Nathan in London, James in Paris,
Salomon in Vienna,
Karl in Naples. Amschel stayed in Frankfurt. 5 cities, 5 banking houses, 1 family, 1 coordinated network that could move money across borders faster and more securely than any government on Earth. Ask yourself why no government thought of that first. Here is what that network actually did. When Napoleon invaded Hesse in 1806, the ruling prince, Wilhelm IX, needed to hide his fortune from occupying French forces. He entrusted it to Meyer Amschel Rothschild. Meyer turned to his son Nathan in London, who invested £550,000 of the prince's funds in British government securities. By the time Wilhelm returned from exile, the investment had grown substantially. The Rothschild reputation for discretion and financial precision was established at the highest level of European power. That was not luck, that was positioning. By the early 19th century, the Rothschild network was financing both sides of the Napoleonic Wars. They supplied funds to the Duke of Wellington's armies in Portugal and Spain. They arranged government loans across Europe. In 1818, Nathan arranged a £5 million loan to the Prussian government. Between 1895 and 1907, the family loaned the equivalent of $15.5 billion in today's money to European governments. Nobody connected these dots at the time. Most people still haven't. Here is where it connects to your life today. In 1875, the British government needed to purchase Egypt's stake in the Suez Canal, one of the most strategically important waterways on Earth. They needed £4 million immediately. Parliament was not in session. There was no time for a public bond issuance. Prime Minister Disraeli went directly to Lionel de Rothschild, head of the London branch. The loan was arranged overnight. Britain secured the Suez Canal. The Rothschilds secured their position as the de facto bankers to the British Empire. That is not a conspiracy. That is documented in British parliamentary records. In 1869, Alfred de Rothschild became a director of the Bank of England, a post he held for 20 years. In 1892, he represented the British government at the International Monetary Conference in Brussels. A private banker representing a sovereign government at an international monetary summit. Read that again. The Rothschild Bank funded Cecil Rhodes in the development of the British South Africa Company. They financed railway systems across Europe and the Americas. They co-acquired the Rio Tinto copper mines in Spain in 1873 and turned a government loss into a profitable private enterprise. They founded DeBeers in 1888, the company that controlled the global diamond supply for over a century. The pattern is consistent. Identify a strategic asset. Finance it privately. control it permanently. Now here is the part nobody talks about. In 1825, the Bank of England faced a liquidity crisis, a bank run that threatened to collapse the British financial system. Nathan Mayer Rothschild supplied enough gold coin to the Bank of England to stabilize it. The institution that was supposed to be the lender of last resort was itself rescued by a private banking family. Who backstops the backstop? Apparently the Rothschilds. By the end of the 19th century, the Rothschild network had documented connections to the financing of the Federal Reserve's predecessor institutions in the United States. Their New York banking partners at Kuhn, Loeb & Co. financed John D. Rockefeller's Standard Oil, Edward Harriman's railroad empire, and Andrew Carnegie's steel empire. The Industrial Revolution in America was not built on American capital alone. Follow the money back to Frankfurt. Today, Rothschild & Co. operates in over 40 countries. They advise governments on sovereign debt restructuring. They have appeared at pivotal moments in Greece's debt crisis, African mineral sector deals, and major privatization programs across the developing world. The seventh generation of the family now runs the core banking business. 250 years, 7 generations, the same family, the same strategy. Identify where power flows. Position yourself at the intersection. Never be the king. Always be the banker to the king. Here is what you now know that most people do not. The Rothschild story is not about conspiracy. It is about documented institutional power, the kind that does not require secrecy because it operates in plain sight, recorded in parliamentary archives, banking records, and corporate histories that most people never read. We read them. We connected the dots. Now you have them too. Video 4 is coming. The institution the Rothschilds helped build in America, the one that controls your interest rate, your mortgage, and the price of everything you buy.
Share this before it gets buried.
This is not a conspiracy theory. This is documented history. This is Cipher Finance. Now you know.